Yeah, that'd be great.
I can't wait for
Steve, right? Steve, Ellie?
Eli.
Eli. Steve, Eli, Cooper, Mackenzie, Eric,
We're on a first name basis.
Barstaff, Holly. So I was expecting an entirely different scenario tonight. I rolled in here once when there was open mic night, like a few weeks back, and just,
Yeah, Cooper, turn them up a little bit.
I just want to get this out of the way.
Eric's hearing aids are turned off.
Who's the comedian here?
No. Listen, Eric, you have hearing aids?
I know, she's the big
That's too bad. I had a whole different setup of gags lined up because I expected people our age. I mean, I had dick jokes and Viagra, and like that shit's gonna fall flat in this crowd. I'm a lot older than I look, buddy. I promise you.
Well, we don't have dads. I mean, like, we could probably get it.
I'm gonna let those jokes sit for just a minute. This is the first time I've been in front of a group of people like y'all in almost 17 years. I did stand up for a minute about, like I said, almost 17 years ago, and I had a great time. I used to go to this little place in College Park, and I used to go to College Park and perform, and had a lot of fun, and I stopped doing it. It's going to get dark really quick for just a second. But I stopped doing it because I came home one night after doing stand-up, and it was like 2 in the morning, and our poor dog was sick, and the dog, unfortunately, was gone like 5 days later, and a few days after that, I learned that one of my best friends from college passed away, and I just didn't feel funny anymore. And I just stopped, and a lot of those jokes were probably, you gotta gauge your crowd. And, I was telling jokes about my buddy, who's one of my best friends. I wish he was here, he's not. And his sex life, or his lack of a sex life. We would compare notes. Like, we used to go out to Liberatories on Friday night. And, he wouldn't really talk about it so much as he'd hold up one finger or 2 fingers. Each finger represented a month for how long it'd been since he had sex. So 1 finger, 2 fingers. If he holds up 3 fingers, I'm concerned about my dog when he comes to visit.
Oh, God.
One day he holds up 7 fingers. I said, are you fucking kidding me, really? I said, it's been 6, 7 months since we've had sex. And, but that's changed because he has kids now, so we know he's got it at least twice. Same, I have 2 kids. I have 2 daughters, 22 and 17, going on, fuck you, you don't understand. And they're both just a joy. But what I learned was that the 22-year-old just graduated college, and she's actually got a job in her career. She lives in New York City. She always knew the rules were there for a reason, and the younger one always knew that rules were there to be broken. And what I'm about to tell you, this rest of my set, this is all fucking full stop, this all happened. Like I said, I had a lot of material lined up that I could relate to, but I don't think anyone else in this room can really relate to it, but that's okay. But you can relate to having kids. Steve, you have kids? You have 2 kids, right? Same. So can you relate to, the whole... Yeah.
They're boys though.
Oh, they're boys. Okay, they're boys. Right, okay. Yeah. You have any children over there? 4? Wow, no, my wife knew stop. Just stop.
I tried.
I'll never forget the time. My wife's a school teacher, and I'll never forget the time when she started, right before she started teaching, she was a nanny for these 3 kids. She comes home one day to the apartment. We'd only been married. No, we haven't been married yet. I take that back. We were engaged to be married. She comes home. She says, yeah. She goes, we're either having 1 or 3. And I'm, whoa. She goes, or no, I'm sorry. She said, we're having 1 or 2. We're not having 3. And she said, well, it's the middle one. It's the middle child that's always the one. That's the problem. In my house, the 17-year-old, who was 12 at the time when this happened, it was during the pandemic of all things. And she was 12, and we found out that her and her little friends would sneak out of the house
What?
in the middle of the night.
At 12?
At 12, they'd sneak out of the house in the middle of the night, these kids, and they would, all I'm gonna tell you, they would meet up at 7-Eleven. They'd meet up at the 7-Eleven, playground, they'd just do whatever 12-year-olds do.
Get kidnapped?
And I'm gonna get to that.
Sorry.
No. Because exactly.
Go.
So we're totally oblivious to all of this until one night, because kids, like criminals, are stupid. And we eventually figure out that this is going on. And my dad radar goes off, and I figure out that this kid isn't in the house. And I'm driving around looking for her, and I can't find her. She had a bicycle at the time. She always rode that bike everywhere. So we caught on to what was happening, because that particular night, she had asked to go stay over at a friend's house, and we were like, no, you just were at that kid's house. That kid was just over here last night. You don't need to be having a sleepover every night. So once I figure out that the bike is gone and she's gone, I wake my wife, and this is, by the way, 1 in the morning. It's 1 in the morning. I wake up my wife and I go, she's gone. What do you mean she's gone? I said, Charlotte, she's gone. But I think I know where she went. So I start to drive over to that person's house. My wife gets on the phone with mom. And that's when we figured out that these kids had been sneaking out all summer. All summer. 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I'm not making any of this up. And I went to the 7-Eleven over here on Liberty, and they pulled up security footage. And they knew the kids I was talking about. They pulled up the security footage from like the past week. And they're showing me this footage of the past week. And there they are, rolling in at 1:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning. They're getting their big gulps. They're fucking doing whatever 12-year-olds do. So once we crack the code, now, like, okay, well, you're grounded for 2 weeks. We become the bad guy. We're the bad guys, right? They're 12. Their universe is like this big. And my daughter at the time, she's trying to justify this. All kids sneak out of the house. All kids sneak out of the house. Not all kids sneak out of the house. Let me take you over to Walmart and show you a wall of wrong place, wrong time kids. Are you fucking kidding me? This isn't a justification. Now, the problem that we had as her parents was that the friends that she was hanging out with, it was a bad circle of friends. And I'm not trying to shit talk kids. Every parent raises their kid differently. But what bothered us as parents was that the one kid's mom was a child psychologist. And her response, I'm not making this up, her response was, kids, this is what they do.
Oh no.
The other parent, I don't even know if the other parent gave that kid a stern talking to, but because we grounded our daughter for 2 weeks, she fucking hated us for 2 years. 2 years. And that was tough. And as her dad, I'm trying to wrap my head around all this, because we never had these problems with the other one. As I said, the one knew rules are there for a reason, the other one knew rules are there to be broken. And she fucking broke those rules. And we grounded her. And I would talk to other friends I would talk to, other parents. I would talk to my bartender at Oscars. And Lauren, my bartender at Oscars, she's not there anymore, but I remember she was probably in her early 30s, late 20s at the time. And I'm just commiserating. I'm like, I don't know how to wrap my head around this. She said, oh yeah, when I was that age, I was a bitch to my parents. I was an asshole to my dad. We're best friends now. I said, really? That's awesome. I said, when did you turn that corner?
30 years later.
She said, when I turned 21. 21? I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time. I can't tell you that in the years since, like I said, she doesn't hate us anymore. She's developed this really sharp wit, this sarcastic bite, and that actually started when she was less than 12. I remember, I've never told any of these stories in front of strangers. It's one thing to tell them to your friends, to the people who know you. It's something else to, share like this, unless you're in therapy, and you share all the time. And when the girls were small, they'd fight all the time. I don't know if you younger people have siblings, and you know it, so, all the time. I fucking hated dinner at night. I really did. I fucking hated having dinner with my own family at night because these kids were constantly each other's throats. And one day, out of frustration, I just shouted, holy shit, seriously, when are you kids gonna fucking stop fighting? When I'm dead? And the younger one says, yeah, sure, I don't know, maybe. What's that, 2 years?
Oh no!
And I look at my wife and I go, she just put me on a clock. She just put me on a clock this way. I've watched her mature and grow, and I'm so proud of her. I'm proud of the fact that I don't have to sleep in fear at night anymore that she's gonna stab us in our sleep. So that's a relief.
She's waiting for you to put your guard down.
She's waiting for me to put my guard down. I'm seeing this side of her that's a little edgy, and I guess, I don't know, part of it reminds me of me a little bit, I guess. But as an example, not that long ago, about 8-9 months ago, her cousin was supposed to stay the night at the house. The next day, they were supposed to go look at prom dresses or something. So she says, hey, Dad, listen, when Michaela gets off work, can you go pick her up? And, she's going to stay the night. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So it's late at night. It's like finally about 10 o'clock at night. Okay, Dad, Michaela texted, we're ready. Let's go pick her up. So I go to pick her up. Hey, by the way, can we bring her home? She's got to get her stuff. I said, yeah, sure, that's fine. And I just had a feeling this wasn't going to be an in and out, So we're sitting in this kid's driveway, and it's a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. I said, Charlotte, do me a favor. Text your cousin. Tell her your dad's old, he's got to go home and poop. So she takes her phone, move your ass, my dad has to take a shit. And I chuckled at that, and I looked at her, and I thought, we're gonna be best friends someday. Maybe not today, but we're gonna be best friends someday. I'm trying always to think of a way to bond with this kid because I'm tight with my older daughter, and the youngest one, it's a struggle. It's still, like I said, she doesn't hate us anymore, but still my only purpose in that house is I'm the ATM machine. That's it. I'm the ATM machine. So before she got her license, I drive her to school, and just telling her this random story that just popped into my head about somebody I knew in college, this weird girl that I knew in school. And at the end of the story, she says, so did you get with her? And I look at her and I go, what do you mean did I get with her? No, I didn't get with her. What is that supposed to mean? I don't know, Dad, she goes. I don't know how you dated as many girls as you did, how you had as many girlfriends as you did in college. I I go, what's that supposed to mean? She goes, what do you think it's supposed to mean? Look at you. I said, look at me? Look at you. I said, that apple doesn't fall far from this tree. I got news for you. We come back, my wife and I, we just celebrated our 29th wedding anniversary in New Orleans. We're gone, thank you. Fun fact about New Orleans, if you've been and you haven't been at Mardi Gras, our takeaway from that New Orleans weekend was, it is nonstop spring break for geriatrics. It was 50-something, 60-something, up and down Bourbon Street. It was crazy. But we get home, we've been gone for 3 days. We're hoping that the 17-year-old didn't make poor choices. I hid all the alcohol in places that she'd never find it, and positive she'd never find it. We get home late Monday, and my wife is upstairs, and she's, hey, we're back. Did you remember to feed the guinea pig? Did you remember to, take care of the dog? Did you do this? And she's crossing the stairs. I go, hey, Charlotte, how are you? Hello. Hi. And that was it. I didn't expect anything else. So the next day, which was actually yesterday morning, Tuesday, she's getting ready for school, and she's sitting in the chair, and she's there, she's tying her shoes. I come in from the kitchen, hey, good morning, Charlotte. Hi. She has already said hi to you last night. I said, yeah, well, I didn't get a hug. And she looks up at me like this, and she says, do you need a hug?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, well, I do now. I said, do you need any money? Do you need anything? She's like, no, I'm okay. I'm fine for now, but thanks for asking. And then, of course, today, she needed money, and I made her pay for it. I got my hug. So that was
How much did your hug cost?
$10 for gas. It was a $10 gas. That's what that was. So, Cooper, how we fix for time?
It's like 7:05.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna lose trivia tonight anyway. So I was telling Cooper I wanted to be out here at a certain time because I got trivia at Oscars, but I got one more story I'll share with you. I have a good friend who always tells me I'm good at telling stories. Before I get into that story, I'm gonna let you guys decide the story. And again, this is all fun facts, this is all true. You need to know a little background about what I do for a living. And what I do is I go to conventions, comic book conventions, and I take books and items from clients that want the autographs. So that's my job.
Oh my God.
I know, it looks good on paper, trust me, it looks good on paper. I'm 58, not 28, and I stand in those lines on those concrete floors, and it's a grind. So I meet a lot of celebrities, and not a lot really moves this needle, okay, because I got shit that's got to get done. I'm on the clock, I'm always looking at the clock, there's always someplace I gotta be. And like recently, I did get excited. A couple weeks ago, I was in New York City Comic Con. I got to meet Lawrence Fishburne, so that was neat. He was really cool to meet. I think the only guy that ever really excited me was Kiefer Sutherland. I met Kiefer Sutherland. I was like a 12-year-old girl. And I said to him, I said, dude, there are days I wish Jack Bauer and President Palmer were real people. And he looked at me and he says, yeah, me too. I do. I met Martin Sheen at New York Comic Con a couple weeks ago. He was super cool. I met President Jed Bartlett. Did not expect this. As we're interacting and talking, he goes, you remind me a lot of Chad Lowe. No, and he looks at the guy next to him and goes, yeah, doesn't it remind you of Chad Lowe? I go, I don't know, I get Justin Long. People tell me I look like, I don't see it myself. So, oh no, total Chad Lowe. Yeah.
I'm looking up Chad Lowe.
Okay, right. He knows who Chad Lowe is, and he's like, yeah, I don't see it either. I don't see it. So, that's what I do, is I take books, comics, magazines, Funko Pops, stuff, prints, posters for clients all over the country and some overseas, and I take them to these shows, and I'm the guy that you pay to stand in a line to get this shit done. And yeah, so now that you have a little bit of background about what I do, I'm gonna let you pick the story. These are my two best stories that I keep in my back pocket. Like I said, I've never told these stories to strangers. You're the first. This comes up with friends, people I know. Therapy. I think I did tell it to my therapist when I think about it. So
I want whatever one you told the therapist.
she knows all the bad shit. So here are the two stories. You decide which one you want to hear. The Harrison Ford drug deal, or the time my buddy took a shit on Darth Vader's throne.
Harrison Ford.
Sure.
Harrison Ford.
Okay. I was hoping you'd go with the other one because it's a shorter story, but that's
Don't give me
okay.
an option.
Okay, Harrison Ford drug deal. So, right before the pandemic, I was part of a small group. They lined up a private signing with Harrison Ford. I think this was right before that last Jedi Star Wars movie came out. I don't even remember the name anymore. So this was December of 2019. And in the months leading up to December, I had been asked by a mutual friend if I would consider facilitating this. He had gotten word of a gentleman who, and I use that word loosely, of a gentleman who was orchestrating this private signing with Harrison Ford. Now, the caveat was I needed to be willing to fly into the LA area to do this. My friend was going to pay the hotel, the airfare. I just had to be there and handle it. Now, in my line of work, there's two of us. There's a facilitator, that's me, and then there's a witness. That's the other guy, a pair of eyes that, so there's two of us, and there always has to be two of us. I said, yeah, sure. I said, if you're willing to, foot the bill for the hotel and the airfare, and yeah, I'll go. Now, the problem that I ran into initially, I really didn't care at first, was that the guy in Florida who was arranging this whole thing, he was the guy that's bringing Harrison Ford in. He was the guy that's, he says, there can't be two of you in the room. I said, look, there has to be one of us. I said, sorry, nope, cannot be two of you in the room. I said, that's fine, I don't care. I said, my buddy Chris, he'll do it. I don't care. But there has to be somebody. He said, that's fine. Chris, your buddy Chris could be in the room. I said, okay. So in the months and then weeks leading up to this nightmare, this guy was very ambiguous. He was very vague, and I never really communicated it more than once. I personally only talked to this guy once before I got on that plane and made that trip. Everything else is being handled by my buddy who owns a comic book store up the road. And the communication is kept strictly through phone. Barely any text messages. I'm not going to tell you what we knew, I'm going to tell you what we didn't know. We didn't know this guy's last name. We didn't know the exact location where we were going. We didn't even know specifically what part of LA this was going to be in. This was all on a need-to-know basis. Well, as we're getting closer and closer to the date, my friend who's arranging all this, he finally gets on the phone with this guy, and he says, listen, Kevin, he goes, you know his first name, he says, Kevin, I've got to book airfare for two people, I've got to book a hotel, I need a date, I need a calendar date, I need to know when we're doing this has to be set up. He says, okay, so we're going to be doing this December 8th, and probably gonna fly into Santa Monica, and he's still low on the details. Like, we don't know the exact time of the signing, we don't know the exact day. I mean, we kind of know the date at this point, but this guy is still being really mysterious about this. It's already making me uncomfortable. Again, before I continue, I want to reassure you, none of this is made up. Fucking none of it. Because you can't write this shit. So, my buddy makes the flight arrangements. My friend Chris has to fly in from Arizona. I'm flying in from Maryland. He flies us, I believe it was into, I guess it was LAX. Flew us into LAX. He books a hotel. And while all this is being done, he still doesn't know specifically where or what time this is going to happen. He just knows it's going to be Tuesday. It's going to be Tuesday. I'm like, all right. So Chris and I meet. We have all the items. Everything has to be done in detail. Now, the other thing you should know about this, and this is why I call it the Harrison Ford drug deal. Would anybody care to guess what Harrison Ford's autograph costs? Technically, he upcharges, not Harrison, Kevin, the handler, will upcharge if the item is already signed by more than 4 prior Star Wars cast people.
Okay, I'm gonna say $500.
You can keep going. Keep going.
$500.
No.
Okay.
No. So the median price point for Harrison Ford's autograph in 2019, the median price point, I believe, was $1,400? Yeah. It was either somewhere between $1,200 to $400, and if you're bringing in an item that's already been signed by Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, whoever, expect to add another like couple $100. So that's why I say the median price is going to be $1,400. Most people are submitting stuff that's already been signed. Most people. So we do the math and we count the items. My client, I only had like a dozen clients. My friend, who had arranged all of this stuff, had something like 20, 30, but between the two of us, there were like 52 items that needed to be signed. So 52 times 1,400. Yeah, that's a joke. So I don't feel comfortable carrying all this cash on a plane. I've never been responsible for this kind of money. Even though I've been doing this for almost 20 years, I've never been responsible for that much money. And I go to the Wells Fargo up here, and I'm like, okay, the money's coming in, it's being transferred from the clients. My friend Keegan, who's got his money, he's got a check that has to be cashed, and it has to go to the bank. So I go to the bank and I say, look, I need to take $35,000. I'm going to arrange, and I call Wells Fargo up in LA. I'm going to grab the balance when I get there. I need $50,000 is what I need to make this happen. $50,000. So I roll in with $35,000 in my pocket. I've already made the pre-arrangements to go to the bank to get the balance the next day, the morning of the signing. Shouldn't be a problem. I've called the bank, I've set this up, they know I'm coming. It's not a big deal. The night before the signing. It's 10 o'clock at night, West Coast. Okay, which means for us, back here, yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm tired, I'm cranky. My buddy, who's the witness, Chris, from Arizona, his cell phone rings. It's Kevin, the guy who's handling all of this stuff. The guy who we still don't know where we're going tomorrow morning. We just know the signing's at 1 in the afternoon. We don't know where the fuck it is. And he calls, and he tells Chris, where are you guys staying? I need to come to the hotel tomorrow and get the money. And I go, oh no, he texts Chris. I take that back. He texts Chris. His phone's going off. He goes, oh, it's Kevin. He wants to know where we're staying. He wants to come to the hotel at 7 a.m. tomorrow to collect the money. And I look at Chris, I go, fuck him. I said, fuck him. We don't know where we're going. I said, no. We will bring the money tomorrow morning to the signing. He does not get, I said, we don't even know this guy's last name. He's going to come to the hotel, total stranger's going to come to the hotel, collect 35. I said, and I still have to go to the bank tomorrow morning to get the difference. So I said, ignore him. Tell him we're having dinner. We'll deal with him in the morning. So He texts him that, and that's nothing else. Next morning, 7 a.m., my phone's blowing up, Chris's phone is blowing up, and it's this motherfucker demanding, where are we? I need to come collect the money. Now, at the same time, unrelated, as I said, none of this is made up. At the exact same time that this is going on, I'm getting a phone call from my cousin back home on the East Coast that my favorite aunt has passed away. Probably, honestly, my last aunt, my last and favorite aunt, she's passed, which wasn't unexpected. The timing was just really bad. So I'm dealing with this. I'm trying to tell Chris we need to deal with Kevin. This is all happening very quickly. Keegan, back home, here in Maryland, he's calling me, blowing up my phone, you need to save this deal, you need to salvage this deal, I have all these clients. I go, Keegan, again, seriously, we didn't even know this guy's last name. I'm not letting a total stranger come to this hotel room that we've never met and he's gonna collect $50,000 cash. Fuck no, I'll give him your money, I don't care. That's fine. I said, I'm gonna hold on to my client's items and money. I said, I do not trust this guy. I said, this has been shady from the jump. From the fucking jump, this has been shady. So now Kevin, he's called Chris, now he's gonna call me. I pick up the phone, and I'm already super stressed and anxious about all of this. He says, listen, he goes, I'm not on your time, you're on my time. You know what? We're just going to cancel the deal. We're just going to cancel the whole thing. I said, well, Kevin, I said, hold on a second. I said, we've got the money. I said, I have to go to the bank at 9 a.m. when the bank opens and just get the bill. What do you mean? You didn't come with the money? You didn't show the money? How could you come all this way? You know what? Fuck it. Look, we're not going to do this. I'm just, you know what? I'll pay for your flight back home. We're done. We're not. And he hangs up. He just hangs up. I go, Chris. I go, what the fuck? What are we going to do? He goes, I don't know. He goes, let me try to smooth this over. So he calls Kevin back. He's trying to explain to Kevin the situation about how I didn't feel comfortable traveling on a plane cross country with $50,000 cash in my pocket. And the signing isn't until 1 o'clock. Why is this such a big deal? Doesn't matter why it's such a big deal. Again, you're on my time. I'm not on yours. You're going to, so this is about, you know, I say jump, you say how high on the way up. So I look at Chris and I go, well, how much money can I take out of the ATM? I mean, I know it's not $15,000. I know that. So they finally get to this agreement, because I'm done talking with this guy. They finally get to this agreement where they're texting each other, and Chris says, look, how about this? Meet us at the bank at 9 a.m. The teller is going to count the money. We're going to have it all in bags. And we're thinking this through because we're like, well, fuck him. Because, yeah, if he meets us at the bank, there's cameras everywhere. So that just makes sense. This sounds amicable to Kevin. So we go to the bank. It's 9 o'clock. I meet the teller. She knows I'm coming. Everything's been prearranged. We get the money. She takes the brown envelope, counts it all, puts it in the envelope, seals it. Then she takes my money, my 35 that I brought with me, counts it, puts it in another brown envelope, seals it, writes the balance on it. We have 50,000 something cash. Chris takes a photo, texts it to Kevin. Here you go. Here's the come get it. Here's the response. It's too late. You're gonna have to come to me. I look at Chris and I go, where the fuck are we going? So Kevin texts Chris the address. Chris pulls it up in Google Maps and he's showing it to me, and it looks every bit like an abandoned car dealership. Not making any of this up. Looks every bit like an abandoned car dealership. So I said, what do you want to do? We're like, I guess we could drive. Now here's the thing I want to say about Chris. I mean, you see this. And then there's this 6'5" motherfucker that's his own security detail. My buddy Chris, former Marine, he can handle himself easy. I mean, he's not Jack Reacher build, but he's a big boy. So I'm not entirely over. I said, all right, let's do it. So we get in the car, go on Google Maps, and we start driving. And eventually, after about 20 minutes, we realize that we're kind of heading towards Santa Monica Airport. And Chris looks at me and he goes, I think I know what's going on. He goes, I think Harrison Ford is flying in on a private plane. He's going to do the signing, collect his money, get the fuck out of here. I go, I guess. I mean, I never really thought about that. We drive into the location, which is located right next to the Santa Monica Airport. And again, the facade looks exactly like an abandoned car dealership. There's no other way to describe it. It's not a car dealership. I don't even know what the hell this is. There's 2 cars in the parking lot. And I'm like, well, what do we do? What do we do now? He says, I'll text Kevin, I'll let him know we're here. So he texts Kevin. He's like, all right, we're outside. After about 2 minutes, this guy comes out of the front door. He's probably 5'11", probably 250, sweatsuit, gold chains, looks like he just walked off of Tony Soprano's shift, like full stop. When I tell this story from this point forward, I always refer to him now as Tracksuit Kevin. So Tracksuit Kevin fucking walks in.
What color was the tracksuit?
Like a dark blue, black. It was dark. I remember that. I mean, he kind of reminded me like a smaller version of Big Pussy, right? If you've seen, right? That's kind of what he reminded me of. So he comes up to me, this guy that's been busting my balls for the last 4 hours, stressing me out, like I'm gonna have a heart attack because I need this shit in my life. He comes up to me, he extends his hand, he says, hey, I'm Kevin. I'm Rich, nice to meet you. I've heard nothing but great things about you, he says. Heard nothing but great things about you. Your friend Keegan, on the other hand, never heard of him. Oh, I'm sorry, he goes, your friend Keegan, yeah, nobody has heard of him. And I go, that's gotta be a mistake, because he's been around for a while. He says, all right, let's see what you got. So we open up the trunk of the car, book bag, unzip the book bag, pull out the 2 brown manila envelopes of cash, right? He takes the first envelope, opens it up, starts counting. And again, the best way to describe this, it was like watching somebody in blackjack. Just fucking counting the money. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching him do this, are you really counting the money or are you just playing with it? He's like, counting. He's like, yep, looks like it's all here. Puts it back in, takes the second envelope, opens that up, starts fucking counting the money. Yep, looks good. It's okay. Here's what's gonna happen. And then he sees this dumb shit with my cell phone trying to take a photo just in case this $50,000 cash in the trunk of this car. I'm not sure what I'm worried is going to go missing more, me or that fucking money. But we don't know his last name. We've never seen him before. We know nothing about this guy. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll very like subtly like take it. And he sees this, and he fucking loses his shit again. He's like, Dad, what are you doing? What are you taking video of? I'm not taking video of anything. Yeah, you are. I see you taking. I said, I'm just. That's it. Deal's over. We're not doing this. He's back to that. We're not doing this. That's it. Deal's over. My friend Chris, Jack Reacher. He says, hey, listen, dude, it's all good, it's good. He says, we're all friends here. We're all friends here. It's gonna be good. No, it's not. So just look. He goes, Rich, give me your phone. Kevin, I'm gonna delete the photo. It's not a big deal. No, you can't. It's already in the thing. It's in the thing, the sky. It's up in the thing. Chris goes, the cloud? Yeah, it's up in the clouds up there. He says, no, it's not. Really, trust me. He takes the phone, deletes the photo. He says, it's all good. Tracksuit Kevin. Then he says, to Chris. He says, you know what? You come with me. You stay here. I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there by the car with the $50,000 cash, and I'm watching Tracksuit Kevin fucking walk away with my buddy Jack Reacher into this building, in this nondescript building, and I'm literally thinking to myself, is this the last time I'm ever gonna see Chris? I don't know. And after about 5 minutes, Chris comes out, Tracksuit Kevin's behind him, and Chris walking toward me, he does this. He goes, it's all good. 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 Now, after Chris, then Tracksuit Kevin, I see a third person walk out of the building. This guy I fucking recognize. This guy I recognize from going to the conventions. He handles guys like Billy D. Williams. He handles, and I'm like, well, fuck, if I knew that guy, at least I know who he is. Like, okay, but that was never broadcast to me. So now I'm starting to relax a little bit. Tracksuit Kevin says, all right, I'm gonna take the money. He takes the fucking book bag with the money. Says, you're gonna take Chris back to the hotel, and you're gonna bring him back here at 1 o'clock. I go, all right, okay. Again, I'm only agreeing this now because I recognize the third guy. I'm like, all right, I don't know what their involvement with each other is, but okay. So we go back to the hotel, we restructure, we reorganize, we count the items over and over again. There's 52 items. We count everything. 52. Do we have enough cash? Yes, we got enough cash. Are you sure he counted it? Looked like he counted it. I don't know. Okay, we know we brought enough cash. 52 items. Got it. Okay. 1 o'clock. Bring Chris back to the abandoned car dealership. Drop him off. He's going to do his signing with Harrison Ford. Now, I'll never meet Harrison Ford. And I was okay with that. At this point, I just want the shit done. I just want it done. Drop Chris off. I'm told, come back. Or no, Chris tells me, I'll call you when we're done. Like, that's fine. I go back to the hotel. About 45 minutes in, I get a text from Chris. It says, we have 54 items. I go, whoa. Now I'm texting back. Whoa, what do you mean 54? What do you mean 54? There should be 54, there's 52. We counted it 100 times. Where did these other 2 items come from? Because in my head, I'm thinking, Tracksuit Kevin is gonna think that we're trying to sneak a couple in under the wire. No response, there's nothing. Silence, he doesn't fucking say shit after. I'm like, again, where did the other 2 items come from? What's going on? Nothing. About an hour after that, I get a text message that says, all right, I'm driving with Kevin to FedEx. I'll call you when we're done. Where did the other 2 items come from? What is going on? Nothing, still silence. I'm freaking out. About an hour after that, Chris finally calls me. He says, all right, we've dropped all of Kevin's stuff off at FedEx. I'm waiting for the Uber. I'm coming back to the hotel. Chris, again, we had 52 items. How did we end up with 54? Oh, Kevin had a couple extra items he wanted to throw in. I said, why couldn't you say that? Why didn't you open with that? Why didn't you say, Tracksuit Kevin had 2 items of his own, instead of making me wonder where these other 2 items mysteriously came from? Oh, well, it's all good. He gets back to the hotel. This drug deal is what it feels like every bit. It was the absolute worst experience I ever had. Chris gets back to the hotel. I said, so the other 2 items, they belong to Fuckhead, right? He says, yeah. I said, I really wish you would have said that instead of leaving me for 2.5 hours wondering what was going on. Well, they want the phones down, cameras, you can't take pictures, you can't do... I said, I get that. So, how did it go? Oh, it went fine. We got to meet Harrison Ford and I chatted with him. He's really a good guy. And they took pictures of everything and blah, blah, blah. And then, we got Kevin's stuff packed up, and Kevin wanted me to bring it to FedEx so that he could ship his stuff back to CGC, which is the company that I work with. And they're in the car, and they're on their way to FedEx. And Tracksuit Kevin turns to Jack Reacher, and he says, You know why I'm having to bring the FedEx, drop all this stuff off, right? He says, I don't know you, I don't know Rich, I don't know you guys aren't just gonna steal all my books, all my stuff. And Chris turns around and looks at Kevin and he says, you know what's funny? That's exactly how Rich felt about $50,000 cash. He goes, Tracksuit Kevin had this look in his eye like, yeah, I guess, yeah, I get that. So, yeah, that's my Harrison Ford drug deal story. It was the absolute worst experience of my life. Next time I pop in, I'll tell you about my buddy shitting on Darth Vader's throne. Again, true story.
Are you saying throne or throat?
Throne. Throne.
Okay, because I was real concerned.
No.
For a second.
Well, when I say throne, I'll just jump to the good stuff. Toilet. He shared a toilet with Darth Vader. And the events leading up to this and what happened after, again, you can't make this up.
When I see you next time, I want to hear it. Nice job.
That was rich.